From Irving High School, it's the ICTN Game of the Week, District 7 6A High School Softball. The Lady Cards, the visitors, as they travel over here to Irving to take on the Lady Tigers. Hey everybody, Rob Willman with you along with John Nelson. We're almost set for this game. As you take a look on the hill tonight, wearing number 11 will be KYRA Sanchez getting the starting nod, the sophomore. Both of these teams coming in with a loss in their second district game of the season. They both won their first district game. We had that first one for the Lady Tigers over Nimitz. Boy, what an exciting game that was last week on ICTN, 11-10. Meanwhile, the Lady Cards, they lost to Cedar Hill their last time out, 14-6, and they defeated DeSoto 21-1 to start off the season. The starting lineup for the Cards is going to be Martin, the senior, leading things off. Garnica, Sosa, Allen, Colquitt, Zera Masanga, Holden, Rourke, and Peterson, both sophomores at the bottom of the list for the Cards. There's the first pitch, and with the call, Mr. Nelson.
All right, Rob. Andy Martin leads it off. The opposing pitcher for the Lady Cards, Martin, Garnica, and Sosa. The top three to face KYRA Sanchez, who had a nice outing in that contest you saw against Nimitz last week on ICTN. To the second baseman, Nadia Lopez. Couple of pitches, and the first out recorded by KYRA Sanchez. Mac comes in, averaging about 5 runs a game, overall at 3 and 9. Pretty good on-base percentage, as Rob said, coming off a loss to Cedar Hill last week. Bethany Garnica, the center fielder. And first pitch is up high.
It's all according to what version we're going to get, John. Just an offensive explosion a week ago here on ICTN, and then the bats kind of cooled. And, you know, the Tigers had some great plays defensively against the Lady Vikings, but things kind of fell apart against the Warriors in their second game of the year.
Showing bunt pitch on the outside corner. It misses, and the count at 2-0. There is a bright sun. It's a low-setting sun, so the left side of the infield, and in particular for Daisy Gomez in center field, the sun a problem right now for about the next 20 minutes. Lizette Sosa will follow, one out, and the 2-0 pitch is swung through and missed, and the count at 1-2.
Yeah, our first game since daylight savings time, so that kind of changes the dynamics of the sun. About 60 degrees at first pitch. It'll get chilly when the big yellow ball goes down.
Sanchez with 7 strikeouts last week in the game against Nimitz. That misses. When they got the outside corner, a low strike call, and it is all even up at 2-2 on Garnica. KYRA, the sophomore. Twist, turns, and the 2-2 pitch is inside. Almost got the lead foot of Bethany, and the count goes to full.
Yeah, against Nimitz, she got out of a rough first inning after walking a couple thanks to the defensive side of the coin. Got a 3-up, 3-down inning in the second, but the third inning things really fell apart for her.
3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, and the payoff pitch is swung on and missed as Sanchez challenges Garnica and record her first strikeout. And quickly 2 gone here to begin this contest as we see the third baseman Lizette Sosa.
Young Cardinal team. They have 3 sophomores and 1 freshman. You're looking at the freshman right here.
KYRA Sanchez enters tonight's game with a pitching record of 3-7. In the air to left center field, extra bases for Sosa as she hits the bag at first and will pull into second base with a 2-out stand-up double.
Well, that's pretty much an indication why a 9th grader is out there playing varsity ball as she sends that one to the gap. Watch again as Sanchez has it pretty much waist high, and the freshman jumped all over it. It goes all the way to the boards, if you will, until Gomez has to retrieve it and bring it back in.
This brings up the junior catcher, Kayla Allen. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. KYRA throws, and this one is fouled off the right side, out of play. Well out of play. Lady Cards last year made the playoffs. They finished third in the district with a record of 9-5. Coach McTee won the district title in 2015. And the 0-1 pitch on the way as it skips in front of home plate, goes all the way to the backstop, and Sosa will take third on the wild pitch.
There's Coach McTee. 9th year at Mac, was in Decatur in 09 before coming to Irving. Longest tenure of local softball coaches.
A early key district matchup, both teams at 1-2. And it won't be that long before you really position yourself for the playoffs. On 2 hops to the third baseman Henderson as she goes across the diamond and throws out Kayla Allen. A 2-out double fails to blossom for the Cardinals here on the top of the first. As we go to the bottom half of inning number 1, it's Mac nothing and the Lady Tigers of Irving coming up.
It's funny, the games that we have done with Coach McTee when he is the visitor. So if he's traveling, as you see Coach there, traveling either here to Irving or over to Nimitz, he loves getting here with about 20 minutes to spare.
That was about, predicted it right on the button. It was about 20 minutes, but he had everything ready. So
oh, yeah. He's prepared.
He was set to go as we were. We'll see the Lady Cards in April again as they take on Nimitz at Mac.
Take a look at the starting lineups for the Lady Tigers. SCHWARTZ will lead things off, followed by the senior Gomez. Then Melanie Hernandez, a sophomore. Hannah Rodriguez, another sophomore. Stephanie Cifuentes, the catcher. Nadia Lopez. KYRA Sanchez, another sophomore. Joseline Garcia, your designated player, bats 8th, the senior does. And that is the lineup, as well as the right fielder, Haley Bates, the senior, that will finish things off at the number 9 spot. Field looks in really good shape. The grass is really vivid green, and maybe with all the rain that we've had the last couple of weeks, that Mother Nature has blessed the field with beautiful green. Looks pretty good on camera. Not a lot of wind blowing. In fact, the center field flag just barely moving at all. If you had to call what direction, maybe center to right, but very, very little effect I think the wind will have. Defensively, we have Martin, of course, pitching. The catcher's Allen. Zirazanga is at first. McClure at second. Peterson, Sosa. In the outfield going left to right is Colquitt, Garnica, and Rourke.
It is cool and crisp this mid-March early evening. School is out, spring break. There you see the 3 outfielders. It's 2:05 all the way around here at Irving. And again, that low-setting sun, it'll be a problem for the left side for about the next 15 minutes. MINA Schwartz will lead things off for the Lady Tigers, facing ANNALIN Martin, the senior, who no-hit DeSoto last week. And just an absence of wind as we begin playing the bottom of the first. Had 8 strikeouts in that no-hitter. And here is MINA Schwartz, the shortstop, hitting .308. Lady Tigers sport a team batting average of .305. Corners are in. Martin's first pitch is in. Gomez and then Henderson to follow here in the bottom of the first. Lady Tigers averaging 3 runs a game this year. And an on-base percentage flirting around .350. Anything over .400 in softball is pretty good for your on-base percentage in this district. Coach Luttrell there at third base, in the shade. And time call as the first baseman Desiree Nizarmanga comes to the circle and does some groundskeeping work. A little bit of a divot just adjacent.
Or a dirt clod. Looked like a clod out there, or if the ball would hit it, it would take a funky bounce.
Schwartz with 5 RBIs and 1 double. And again, the corners are in. And that next pitch misses inside. It's a 2-0 count on the shortstop. Or a 3-0 count, rather. Pitch on the way. And that one up high, and a leadoff walk for the Lady Tigers.
Not a lot of those pitches very close to the batter, Schwartz. First time we've seen Annie this year. Tall, lanky, works to your advantage as the ball seems to get to the plate a lot faster. But all the control can get you in trouble every time.
Here's the center fielder, Daisy Gomez, hitting .240. First pitch is at the letters and a little above the letters.
Is that 5 straight balls?
You are correct. Schwartz, the junior at first base. Gomez, one of 4 seniors. 1-0 pitch. She will let that one go inside. Ball 2, and ANNALIN Martin trying to find the strike zone here in the bottom of the first. 6 consecutive balls to begin play.
Coach Luttrell telling his senior, hey, don't swing at it unless it's perfect, because we need to make her throw strikes before we even think about swinging.
Martin ready, here it comes, and that one got her. Gomez has been hit by the pitch and will limp to first base, and a struggle here for the Lady Cards. 2 on, nobody out for Melanie Henderson.
Just the other way around in the JV game before this one, the Irving pitcher had a control issue, hit a couple of batters, just brought in a couple by hitting them. And now we see the same thing happening, and this is just the bottom of the first, and it wasn't one of those that hit you in the leg and you kind of grimace and move on. This one hit her in the foot.
That's going to sting.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a soft ball. It's as hard as a rock.
It's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, let's see what they do to Melanie Hernandez. People love to walk her because she's such a power hitter.
First pitch hits the backstop on the fly. Both runners advance as Martin uncorks another wild pitch. There's a look at the defense. Outfield straight up. Henderson homered in our game last week at Nimitz to the left side. Peterson will come home. They get no one, and the bases are loaded. Decided to come home. They thought that Schwartz would be enticed to risk it. As it is, she holds her ground, and the bases are juiced.
Did Peterson think maybe there was a force at home, or she was just doing her best to hold her on? We'll watch the replay. It's a bouncer. Peterson fields cleanly, just comes right up gunning. Didn't even look to run her back. I think if she had an opportunity again, she could have just fielded the ball and just ran right toward the runner when it got a put out.
So the bases are loaded for the first baseman, Hannah Rodriguez. Showing bunt. Here's a pitch by Martin, a swing and a miss. Hannah, the hit leader on the team with 12. Comes in batting .444. Good cleanup hitter, as is Henderson, batting third in the lineup. That pitch is a little bit low, and the count even at 1.
John, she was 3 out of 5, knocked in about 4 runs last week on ICTN, so that's the batter you want up there with runners on.
No place to put her. Upstairs. And the count at 2-1. Stephanie Cifuentes on deck. Great chance for the Lady Tigers to bust it open here. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Foul off the end of the bat. Almost got the on-deck hitter, Cifuentes. And the count leveled at 2.
One thing about these Lady Tigers, they are aggressive at the plate. They're not shy about swinging the bat. Bat on ball, you could get a run easy no matter what happens as long as it's not popped up in the air in this situation.
That 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Can't advance, doesn't matter if the catcher drops it, the base occupied, and that's a big out. It's at least the first out, no damage done for Martin. So a little confidence builder perhaps for the senior pitcher. And here's Stephanie Cifuentes, the catcher.
By far her best series against a batter. That last at bat is Rodriguez not able to get something going offensively.
Stephanie hitting .286 with 7 RBIs. Ties the team lead in that stat and takes the first pitch right across the heart of the plate. Lady Tigers last year 3-11 in district play. They come in with an overall mark at 3-10-1. And the 0-1 pitch, fouled straight back. So Martin ahead 0-2 on Stephanie Cifuentes. Senior catcher with Nadia Lopez due up next. Lead runner at third is Schwartz. No score, bottom half of the first. Look from center field. Here's the pitch, outside. A lot of juice on it, but it missed outside of the count at 1-2.
We saw this last week. Teams starting to have a little chart on their wrist, on their forearm. Irving does it. Mac does it. Martin gets a call from the sideline. She looks at the chart.
In the air to center field. One hops in front of Garnica. 1 run scores, and that will be it as the throw comes in, cut off by Nazar Mazanga, and the Lady Tigers have opened up a 1-0 lead.
You know, John, Garnica didn't know what to do at center. When she hit the ball, she didn't know to go all out and make the play or just to hold back and just play it off the hop. With bases loaded, if you did go all in and didn't make it, then there's an opportunity to clear the bases in the process.
Stephanie now with 8 RBIs. And here's the second baseman, Nadia Lopez. Bases still loaded, 1 out. A comebacker. Martin will come home. There's 1, and that will do it as Allen steps on home, out number 2. And Sanchez, the opposing pitcher, now up with 2 outs.
A little bouncer right in front of the batter's box. Martin a quick toss. Catcher Allen thought about going to first, but decided wiser, and 2 down.
So Henderson now over at third. Cifuentes at second. Lopez at first. And Sanchez comes in hitting .304. Oh, you can get out of this with just 1 run given up. You've done the job. Challenges Sanchez. Nice pitch in the count, 0-2.
Be huge, John, for the Lady Cards just to give up 1 run in this inning, especially how it started with a walk and a hit batter.
1-0. Irving on top. Martin looking in. Here's a pitch, just making contact to Sanchez. Got the top half of it. Count holds it 0-2.
Maybe it's just taking Annie a little bit longer just to get comfortable, settle in, and find the strike zone. The last 3 batters, once she struck out Rodriguez, it seems that she's keeping it around the plate.
Here's a pitch, swung on and missed on a pitch that appeared to be a little outside and high, but Sanchez couldn't hold up, and Martin records the 3rd out allowing just a run on a hit. And our new score after one complete. Lady Tigers 1, Lady Cards nothing.
Well, who knows? They might look back on that and say, man, we squandered a huge opportunity scoring run-wise there in the first inning. Plenty of time, of course. We got plenty of innings left, and now the coach, Luttrell's going out there to fix the circle a little bit. It just seems like that whole little area.
That's a crevice. That's not a hole. That's a crevice.
Or a crevasse, as a friend of mine used to say. I go, crevasse?
A depression.
So KYRA Sanchez will go back out for her second inning. She came in 3 and 7 overall. Gave up just that one double in the first inning and settled down and got the Cardinals out.
It was all Mac last year, winning both games rather decisively, 22-12 and 24-0. That set a record, most runs scored ever in the series between these two teams.
It's a lot of runs. I don't care what it is.
That's a messy scorebook.
It is, isn't it? After that 22-12 game, the first time they met, the second time was just out of control.
I know we did one of those two games. I can't remember which one it was.
I thought it's the first one. I don't remember the 24-0.
Oh, yeah, the 34-run output. Who could not forget that?
You did. No, just
34-run total. Sierra Colquitt, the left fielder, leads things off for the Lady Cards. Sanchez's first pitch gets away from Cifuentes. Sierra, then Desiree Nazar-Mazanga, and Tanya Holden.
John, you got your NFL draft tickets yet?
Not yet. It's on a Thursday. I think it starts on a Thursday, and I'm tied up Thursday, but maybe the Friday. Maybe that Friday.
I mean, there's talks already of it being a in-demand ticket, and I'm like, really? To me, I didn't think it'd be that. I mean, it's kind of cool to go to, but I didn't think it would be that much in demand unless it's just a good marketer's plan trying to get people excited about going.
But do Cowboy fans show up towards the end to get the choice, or do you stay when it first starts and spend 8 hours?
True.
Everybody wants to be at that first day, but
yeah, maybe you go to the bar, the Cowboy bar, sports bar they've got going on there, and then you come out of your hiding when the Cowboys draft.
2-1 pitch is inside. It shaves the inside edge. Called a strike, and it's even up at 2.
Drove by the ballpark the other day. There's like 5 cranes around there making a mess.
Yeah, it's a place to avoid. Here's a one-hopper to the shortstop, SCHWARTZ. She will field, throw, and just gets Colquitt.
Oh, nifty. Nifty job by SCHWARTZ. Nice range. She had to keep the motion alive and field it cleanly. If she stopped at all, she wouldn't have made the play whatsoever. Watch. See, she kind of had to backhand and go against the grain a little bit, but she kept her momentum. Watch here, kept her momentum going forward, and that enabled her to get a quick throw over to first in the out.
There's Desiree Nazar-Mazanga, the first baseman.
Getting back to the new ballpark for the Texas Rangers, I hear the dirt work is almost complete, and they say you won't see those trucks coming in and out for much longer for the dirt part, and it gets down to business.
1-0 pitch is outside. For the new stadium?
That's right, Jerry. That's right. Baseball's fun, too.
Eliminated about 8,000 parking spots. That's the bad news. Yeah.
Can't they just park at Jerry World?
To the right side, Lopez smothers it, and the short toss over to Rodriguez for out number 2. So 2 gone here in the top half of the second. And Tanya Holden, the designated player, up for the first time.
Just have to use those, trams at Six Flags they use, to shuttle you from the parking lot to the front gate. We can do that at the ballpark.
They've got a couple of services already planned, kind of a people mover that holds about 12.
And they got like one guy pedaling a bike, trying to haul 12 guys on one bike.
A lot of leg work. Yeah, that remote parking lot is a pretty good walk now. 2 out. And Holden takes one up high. Tanya, one of 5 seniors. Coach McTee, he's got 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, and a freshman this year. This one chopped foul, wide of first. And the count at 1-2. Again, Sanchez came in with a record of 3-7. She's starting her 11th game. Has now worked 49 innings on the year. And the 1-2 pitch, swung through and missed as Sanchez collects strikeout number 2 and a 1-2-3 inning for the Lady Tigers. Middle half of the second, still 1-0 in favor of Irving High.
Well, let's see if Annie Martin will be just as beneficial this time. Last week, what a game we had last week. The thing goes all the way to the bottom of the 7th and had some fireworks offensively and defensively. First of all, Melanie Henderson going yard, number 14 taking that one, hitting the scoreboard, and then had to have a great defensive play, bottom of the 7th, lead runner aboard. Daisy Gomez fields the base hit from center and throws a strike to Cifuentes with the put out and the tag to seal the win for the Lady Tigers. Boy, what a fun game that was, John.
How many runs did we count up after 2 are out combined? 13, 12 or 13
something like that.
runs?
Over 10 or 11.
After 2 are out.
And, of course, hey, who could forget the fact that Irving that scored on all the even innings only?
Oh, let's see. 2nd, 4th, 6th. You're right. Yeah, 5 in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, 3 more in the 6th.
It's
an even inning here.
It's trends like that Vegas really likes to eat up.
Or our research department that handles those things. Bottom of the 2nd, Jocelyn Garcia, the designated player. First left-handed batter that Martin will face. 1-0, Irving on top, runs up as if to drop one down and takes a strike.
Now, Jocelyn, she was the leadoff batter last time out. She was up 5 times and only reached base once. So a little shift in the lineup for Coach Luttrell tonight.
Jocelyn hitting over 300, slaps at one and misses in the count 0-2. Haley Bates on deck.
Think about slapping at a pitch like that, John. You really look good if you make contact and beat it out. If you miss it, you look kind of silly.
Now you have to be selective as Martin will check the wristband and the pitch on the way and not even close. And strikeout number 3 and the first out here in the bottom of the 2nd. 3 strikeouts for Martin. And here's Haley Bates, the right fielder. Bates hitting in the low 200s. The flex player tonight for Irving is the left fielder, Angelica Reyes. And a strike as Sosa comes down the line at third, about 15 feet. MINA SCHWARTZ, the top of the order, due up next. Martin set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one a little bit inside. And again, Sosa well down the line at third. Count even at 1.
The thing about the wristband, John, and I'll get to it after this pitch, it takes away from the coach wiping his ear, patting his head, wiping the arm back and forth. Now he just does a number. Just flashes a number. One number might be the dummy, one might be the real, and they just look at their armband. It's more simplistic.
As long as they're both in sync.
Yeah.
For the right situation.
Did you say both in a sync?
3-1 the count on Haley Bates. Wristband or not, here's a pretty big pitch. 1-0 Irving on top. They've collected 1 hit. Cifuentes has the lone RBI so far. And that one way outside and high. And a 1-out walk for Bates. Second walk. And here's the top of the order, the shortstop, MINA SCHWARTZ. Yeah, our last look at the Lady Tigers. We'll have one more look at Mac in the spring. Complete shade all the way around here. Just past 7:30 after a time change.
You like the time change, Sean?
Half of me says yes, and the other half, when we're about 5 months in, says no. Towards September. I'm kind of split. 0-1 the count. Schwartz walked and scored the game's first run. In the air, behind third, shortstop drifting out and reaches up and snares it for out number 2, Peterson. On the put out.
That was a tough play by the shortstop. It kept tailing away from her as she was making a move down toward the left field line. As you see Schwartz hit that one, shortstop kind of had to reach back towards center field a little bit to make the play, but she did nonetheless. And now Martin's almost home free again here in the second.
2 outs for the center fielder, Daisy Gomez. Hit by pitch her first time up. And takes one a little bit outside.
You know, John, it took about 5 batters for Martin in the first to finally settle down and get the ball over the plate. And even though she missed on that first pitch, it wasn't by much, and she put a lot of heat on it.
Runner first is Haley Bates. That pitch right down the middle. About knee high. And the count even at 1. What about you on the time change?
I like the extra daylight after you get off work and, you know, you still have time to do stuff, mow the yard, whatever else you need to do. I don't like it getting light too early in the morning, though.
So you don't need about a week of an adjustment? You pretty good after a couple of days?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
That one misses inside.
Though I wish we'd just keep it one way or the other, so we don't change it.
Up to the legislators.
That is, isn't it? We don't get a vote, I guess.
The silent majority. 2 balls and a strike on Gomez. Here it comes. Runner moves up to second on a called strike. And the count level at 2. So Bates takes second with 2 outs. Deuce is wild. ANNALIN Martin, senior. 3 strikeouts, a couple of walks. Trying to frame it as Allen, the catcher, just misses the edge, and the count goes to full.
Yeah, you lose Gomez here, and then hard-hitting Melanie Hernandez is up next.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. Lost her up high. And a 2-out walk.
If you were the manager of MacArthur, would you walk her?
Well, she
With
made
2 outs?
contact. She made contact her first time up, hit into a fielder's choice. Yeah, it's interesting, leading 1-0. But then you got Rodriguez hitting behind her, the team leader in hits. But I think you got to challenge Melanie here. Got to pitch to her. She does. Slowly hit to the left side. Fielded throw is in time by Peterson. So Martin dispatches Melanie Henderson 6-3 on the putout. As the Lady Tigers leave a couple on base, but they lead 1-0 as we head to the top half of inning number 3 on our ICTN District Game of the Week. A low setting sun, kind of a burnt orange and gray sky in the west. Lady Tigers on top, 1-0 and in with the middle innings. Rob Willman.
All right, John, thank you very much. Still hovering around 60 degrees, same as it was at game time. As the sun almost disappears, they do some more yard work out there to get rid of some of the dirt clods again on the infield. As we have the bottom 2 here in the top of the 3rd, Rourke, Peterson, and then we go up top to Annie Martin. In the 3rd against KYRA Sanchez, who so far through 2 innings has given up 1 base hit. That was to Lizette Sosa, a double in the 1st. Had a 3 up, 3 down in the 2nd. And looking to improve on that here in the 3rd. As the Lady Tigers lead by 1, that one gets away from her. Duncanville Lady Panthers at 10-1 overall, on top in district, perfect 3-0, along with South Quarry and Prairie at 3-0. They're 5-2. Cedar Hill 6-5 overall. So, if you want to go by what the teams have done combined, Duncanville looks like the only really superior team in the district race. That one bounces back. Cifuentes will have to give chase. And the count is 3-0 now to the number 8 hitter, Rourke. We have a couple of back-to-back sophomores that will bat in the number 8 and 9 spot for MacArthur here in the top of the 3rd. So you would think you would try to take advantage of the inexperience and get them out, and that one's not even close. And whatever groove Sanchez was in the 2nd, loses it there, surrenders her first walk. And the shortstop Peterson comes up. If you recall, Sanchez had some trouble against Nimitz in the 3rd. They batted around, ended up scoring about 7 times in that inning.
It looked like, Rob, that KYRA was struggling with her warm-up tosses between innings. Everything was up high. That got the catcher, Cifuentes. That may leave a mark.
Yeah, on her arm. All you can do is just see if you're a catcher. You know, if you want to grimace, you can do it through the mask. No one can see. But here's the replay. Watch her right arm. Yeah, right shoulder. They don't have like those chest protectors that come out and cover that socket in softball like they do. Well, she does there on the left side.
But you're pretty exposed on her throwing hand.
Bunt is attempted by Peterson, goes foul. Again, the Tigers holding on to just a 1-run lead, and Coach McTee, so animated. So much fun to watch him.
His face is as red as his warm-up jersey. Not
Coach, you're going to pass out. 0-2, right to the first baseman, and a double play. Rodriguez snags the line drive, touches the base, and there are 2 down.
To the easy way. Amanda Peterson hit it hard, but Hannah Rodriguez right there to pick it off. Just about 3 feet. I'll step on the pillow and get 2. helps out Sanchez quite a bit here.
Nicely done by Rodriguez. 2 down. Go to the top of the order, and Annie Martin, the senior, grounded out to second to start the ball game. Talking about coaches and turning red. I covered a basketball game once where the girls' basketball coach passed out because he just got too excited and stood up off the bench and yelled so loud for so long, just ran out of air.
So who finished the game? Who ended up coaching?
Oh, he stayed. He stayed. He like went to his knee and they helped him up to the bench, and he gulped some water, and 3 or 4 minutes passed and he got back at it. Not quite as animated and moving around quite as fast, but it'll happen.
His team win?
They did.
It was all worthwhile.
Wasn't it, though? Till the wife finds out, and she probably gave him a hard time about it. Swung on and missed by Martin. The count is even at 2-2. Nobody aboard. Everyone playing pretty much straight away. With the sun gone, you can get a better read of the base softball a little bit better. KYRA rocks and fires, and it goes to second again. Lopez got her by a step, but that's all that counts. And for the second time in this ball game, Martin grounds out to the second baseman. And we go to the bottom of the third. Still, the Lady Tigers on top, 1-0.
Yeah, Nadia Lopez now has 3 assists here in the first 3 innings for Irving. We mentioned we'll see the Lady Cards again in softball. That'll be the night of the 17th of April at MAC against the Lady Vikes.
We talked about the run production last year of MacArthur. 46 points in 2 games against these Tigers. Wasn't quite as big, but just as impressive in 2016. It was Irving had scored 30 runs in 2 games against MAC, winning both of those. But that 15-12 game is either that 15-12 or 15-14 game in 2014, I recall us doing. And that was a big comeback. And
I was serving an apprenticeship then, so I missed that one. I was in training down in Florida.
Were you?
And then baseball next week on ICTN. Got hardball against the Tigers. Just right across the way will be about a couple of 100 yards. Next week on the baseball diamond.
Yeah, that 16 game, that 15-12 game was the triple play that was recorded.
It's on tape. You have it?
We do. We do indeed. All right, Hannah Rodriguez to lead things off. Struck out her first at bat. Strike called. And you can always go back to see some of the older games on YouTube, including that one. Let's go to YouTube, City of Irving. Check it out. Slap to the right, but out of play. And now Rodriguez is behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. I think they're going to got time. First of all, Coach McTee is going to come out to talk to his pitcher. And Coach Luttrell, in the meantime, I think is going to talk to the home plate umpire about ball and strikes.
You know, that might be worth looking up because Scott Snyder just told me that was the bases loaded, a no-out triple play. Did you pick up anything at all?
I was listening a little bit.
Count's good at 1-1.
So after the conversation, it's now 1-1, not 0-2. Low.
Home plate umpire does not indicate any kind of a call on the balls.
You hear the strike, you can see the body flinch when he yells strike. That's how I read it.
Yeah.
Or try to anticipate.
Close enough.
Otherwise, it's nothing. It's over the second baseman's head. No! McClure chases it down. McClure going to her left. Zara Mazanga just had to watch her and hope for the best.
Not a long run, about 15 feet or so, and plenty of room.
So one down, and the catcher, Cifuentes, who has knocked in the game's only run to date. Steps in. Not a bad crowd tonight. They're all bundled up, got the blankets. Think about this time of year, you better bring a blanket for the stands.
They got to give them credit coming out on a spring break. Could be doing a lot of other things.
Well, they got to sleep late, John.
A week that everyone looks forward to.
We should have spring break for us working folks.
Like a spring break telecast that just put down on tape where nobody sees it.
Well, I was really thinking about just a week off and not working.
Okay,
that kind of spring break. Spring break for adults. That does not count toward your vacation time. I know that's a lot to ask.
Sounds like an episode from The Office where you try to lobby for some extra weeks off.
Yeah. Strike called, inside corner. Evens the count at 2-2. Now, if you're in France, I think they only work 1 week out of the month, right? Isn't that how that works?
Not many.
You have some great benefits. See, that's why they live so long over there. See, they're not working. Drinking wine. Slow roller. Sosa. Low throw and unable to grab it as Zara Mazanga. And Cifuentes is on board.
First error of tonight as Sosa's throw. Hard one to handle by Desiree at first.
So you're going to blame the third baseman on that?
Had time, just put a bad throw on it.
Nadia Lopez reached on a fielder's choice back in the first. Up again with the runner on. And one out. I think it hit her. And it did, and we've got runners at first and second.
Could barely hear contact, and it did nail Lopez on the left arm area.
Replay, watch her sheet. Just kind of goes in a little bit, but hit the leg.
Yeah, below the elbow. Third hit batter by Martin.
So now she's in a pickle with 2 on and nobody out, and KYRA Sanchez, the pitcher for the Lady Tigers, struck out back in the first to end that inning. Martin hits the outside corner for a called strike. Cifuentes hustles back to second. Outfield pretty much straight away, and so is the infield. At this point, nobody's playing up. Don't anticipate, I don't think, a bunt by Sanchez. Low. Small lead by Cifuentes over there at second. See what Coach Luttrell has in store, if he has a play on or anything going. trying to add to that one-run lead here in the bottom of the third. And the toss grounded to second. McClure, the first baseman. Zara Mazanga over to second with the shortstop covering. So now we've got 2 outs. It's a strange force play there, John.
Yeah, it is. Desiree was too far off the bag to run to first to get Sanchez, so she looks at second right here as the runner takes off a little late, and an easy put out as the play goes 3-6 on the fielder's choice.
It's one of those decisions whether or not you just camp out at first and hope your second baseman McClure comes up with it. And we've got a courtesy runner down at first. In place of Sanchez.
Could be Sugi Mar, I'm not quite sure.
Runners at the corner. This will bring up Garcia. Yeah, last week it was Mar. That was the pinch runner for Sanchez. That's how they work it tonight. Both teams with only about 3 extra players on the bench to go from. Strike called, runner goes down to second. So now we have 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. So no matter what happens, runners will be moving. Remember last time Garcia had trouble slapping the ball into play. Third baseman Sosa way down the line, over halfway down.
Well, had that ball got away from Allen, Sosa would be near the area to cover home, so that kind of a wheel play where Peterson covers the bag for Sosa at third.
Strike 2. Garcia fooled a little bit.
See, I don't like this running, but I'd rather stay in the box, trying to get some good wood on it or metal on it. But the running bunt favors the pitcher about 90% of the time. You get it anywhere in that area, it's an out. Especially with 2 outs. If you can, try to hit it to the right side.
Well, I guess the thing about the slap is you can't get called out on a try to bunt foul on the 3rd strike, but Coach Luttrell was trying to tell his senior, don't chop wood down on your swing, just swing straight, poke out, make an even swing on it. And the 2-2 offering. And now we've got a full count.
Even with a running bunt as far down as the third baseman comes down the line, it wouldn't be that close of a play at first. Sosa would have plenty of time.
Timeout called. Garcia back in the box. And Martin trying to end this inning with the 3-2 offering. That is outside. And that is ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Close pitch, Garcia able to work a walk. The 4th walk issued by Martin.
So now we have Haley Bates, the other lefty up there. She walked back in the 2nd. This is a point defensively. You just have to step on any base to get the force out. So the shortstop and the second baseman have eased back just a little bit. Strike called to Bates as she ran up on the first pitch offered up by Martin. And it's 0-1.
Center fielder Garnica very shallow out there, just about 25 feet or 30 feet behind second. Tigers had bases loaded in the first, only got a run out of it.
Bates empty on that one, and she falls behind 0-2.
See, that swing was 2 feet out of the batter's box.
Yeah, when you run up like that, the strike zone and everything kind of shrinks a little bit.
It does.
So will Martin throw something way out of the strike zone here and try to get Bates to go after a bad pitch? Swung on and missed, inning over. No damage done, although Irving loaded the bases.
Kind of a strange inning with a throwing error and the fielder's choice and the hit batter, but no runs come across, which is the key for Mac.
So KYRA Sanchez will go back out to the circle here in the top of the fourth, nursing a one-run lead thanks to a double play in the third. She has only faced one batter over the limit after 3 innings of play. Big contrast to that Nimitz game we saw him on a week ago, where everybody hit or everybody got on base. As you take a look at some of the fans in attendance tonight.
Have you taken the time to fill out your bracket, or do you wait until Thursday morning?
I'll wait till the Final Four.
You got all the regional seeded teams. No mystery.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll just wait till the Final Four to fill out my bracket.
You probably buy those lottery numbers hoping that the store failed to get the right information the day after. I got 5 numbers, a guaranteed winner.
I have about the same luck the Mavericks have on their lottery. And here they are banking that they'll have a big chance to go 1 or 2 this year.
Yeah, I hate that because I like the Mavericks. Knew it'd be a struggle, but not this bad.
All right, number 2, 3, and 4 due up for MacArthur. Here in the 4th inning.
You think Dirk comes back next year?
He probably will, just because he enjoys the game so much. Oh. Reminiscent of that first batter in the 3rd when Sanchez hit the crossbar behind home plate in the backstop. But she settled down. Can she do it again? That goes off the end of the bat to BETHANY GARNICA, sophomore center fielder. Looking down at third base at her coach.
Looked like BETHANY tried to pull the bat back and just made contact.
Good pitch. Sanchez, the underhand toss, and there's one down.
Only pickup and the only play that Sanchez had. You don't want to make a transfer just barehanded and get rid of it as quickly as possible. No reason to glove it.
Oh no, he'd lose too much time. Couldn't make the play. Well, here's the only one to reach base with the base hit. Sosa doubled in the 1st. And she pulls it again high. Schwartz, a shortstop, gloves it, and there's 2 down.
Schwartz one-hands it. Defensive support for Sanchez, nursing a 1-run lead.
All smiles on Schwartz. Like, yeah, I got it. Kayla Allen, the catcher. Grounded to Henderson to end the 1st. Schwartz's pitch very fast, very close, very tight. and off the platter.
KYRA's retired 6 of the last 8. Lady Cards have stranded 1.
One and one. If Allen can get aboard, Sierra Colquitt will be next. Slapped over the base, fair. Running it down is Reyes and left, but not until Allen gets the double. And it was kind of a nonchalant play by Henderson at third. I don't know if she's thinking, hey, maybe they won't see it, but went right over the bag inside the foul line, John.
Right above the bag, about 1.5 feet high. Into the left field corner as Reyes has to run it down. And a 2-out double for the Lady Cards. Only the second hit for Mac.
Second hit, both doubles, and Colquitt steps up with the runner in scoring position. That's a strike called. One of the few really good swings by a Lady Cardinal tonight by Allen. Henderson at third. She's a little bit deeper than normal with 2 outs.
Well, after Sosa had doubled with 2 outs in the first, Sanchez was able to get Allen on a ground out. We'll see what happens here.
Ugh. Over the head of the catcher. Going to third is Allen. So now the dynamics change a little bit. An error. Ball gets past the catcher. Anything that runner at third may be heading home for the tying run.
I was wondering when you were going to work in the word dynamics. And you did.
There it is.
Carrollton's finest.
Yes. And the 2-1. Cifuentes did a good job of keeping that in front of her.
She does have 6 ground ball outs, so try to keep it low here.
Behind the count. Ball 4. So we have runners at the corners. Zara Masanga, the first baseman, up with an opportunity to tie this thing up. Extra bases could give them the lead.
Second walk given up by KYRA.
Ball bounces around, hits a couple of masks and chest protectors, and you can hear it ricochet from up here. Let's see where that softball ends up, John. Maybe the shin guards. Ah, the mask. It's the mask of the umpire.
Well, he got all 3.
Like a pinball. It's everything up there.
But not far enough for Allen to come down at third. That's the good news.
Got a courtesy runner, or Colquitt, he's down at second. So now with runners at second and third, 2 outs. Coach Luttrell says, I need to talk to my pitcher. Calls time.
Good time to come out, having just hit, or having walked Colquitt, and struggling here with 2 outs in the 4th. Desiree grounded out her last time up. And they need an out here. Maybe struggling with that area in front of the pitching rubber, just too deep of a hole maybe for Sanchez. She could work off the first or third base side of the rubber, but likes that middle part as they try to smooth out that spot, make it a little more comfortable for Sanchez.
Well, the count is definitely favoring Sarah Mazanga, being up 2-0.
Did you ever pitch in baseball? Did you ever? I had a pitching toe. I had a steel pitching toe, and you could dig about 9 inches in front of the rubber on some nights.
Had a little scoop on the end of it, so you could dig even more. All right, 2-0 to Desiree. High and away, and it's 3-0 just like that. Coach McTee down at third with nothing but a couple of claps to his senior first baseman. I'm guessing maybe take it to load the bases again. 2 outs. Good pitch. Strike called.
Took a little bit off of it and able to get the zone. May take this next pitch as well.
And the 3-1. High and inside, not even close. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Third baseman Henderson comes over to talk to her pitcher. Calm her down. Tell her something for good luck.
It's cold. Want to get in the dugout. Temperature probably now in the low 50s.
All right, we got a pinch hitter, sir.
Yes, let us see. Got to be McClure. Kaylee McClure. She's the flex player. In the infield, she's at second.
And she's going to pinch hit for Holden. Hit high, left field. Angelica Reyes is there, and she puts it away. So MacArthur threatens. They load the bases. They leave them all. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Lady Tigers still holding on to a 1-0 lead.
They've stranded 4 tonight, and a great chance there after the Allen double, but nothing comes across the score.
The Lady Cardinals this year have wins over Greenville and Crowley, and then also that 1 win against DeSoto, 21-1. They also played South Grand Prairie early in the season, losing to the Lady Warriors 11-3. Lady Tigers with their only wins before district against the same team, North Crowley.
Well, a win tonight would be huge in the district. You'd have a 2-2 mark. Put you right there with Nimitz and maybe Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill with a couple of tough games this week.
Martin still taking her warm-ups. It'll be the top of the order that she'll face for the 3rd time tonight. Schwartz, Gomez, and Hernandez, the scheduled 3.
Martin with 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, but she's hit 3.
You know, John, with the play calling or the pitch calling as well between every pitches, you watch Martin and she'll get the number, whatever, then she'll look at her, at her wrist to see what the, pitch is that her coach wants. It might be just me, but it seems to slow the pace down just a little bit between pitches. Now Schwartz waiting for the catcher, Allen, to come out.
If she struggles, you would have Peterson, who has maybe the best arm on the team at shortstop, to come in. But getting way ahead of ourselves.
All right, so Allen is ready to catch. Martin now, yep, looks at the play call. Settles in. Grounder right back to Annie. And there's one down.
I can't help but think every time you look at the wristband, I'll have the number 3 with a baked potato.
No substitutions.
Lunch special.
Daisy Gomez, she's been on base twice. Got hit once and walked the other time. You look at Allen behind the plate. See, she looks at hers, she looks at her. Everybody's looking at their little sheet before he can actually throw the pitch. Strike called and 1-0. Not a lot of signals from Coach Luttrell yet with one on. Gomez nubs that one off the end of the bat, and she falls behind in the count. Will be a battle for that 4th place playoff spot. Duncanville, South, Cedar Hill, pretty solid. Who will get the 4th one? Things will not be any easier when the district changes next year. Pretty good teams in the area. Swung on and missed, 2 down. As Daisy falls victim to another strikeout. What is that, about the 4th of the ball game?
Number 5.
Number 5. Yeah, she had 2 in the first. So that keeps her streak alive of at least 1 strikeout every inning for Annie Martin. So 2 down. And Melanie Hernandez, who can pretty much swing away if she wants to here with nobody on and 2 outs. Fastball low below the knees.
Had the home run last week after 2 were out.
Right back toward us. John almost got a souvenir baseball last year during the Ranger season.
Just out of reach. It comes back so hard and you're in a defensive mode, but yeah, I did come close.
Part of it is like, yeah, I've got it. Strike
and
call.
Then, and then
the
I
other
don't
part's
want
like,
it.
no.
I don't want any part of it.
My first Ranger game back in the 70s, I got a foul ball.
Seated where?
First baseline, 2nd level. Not the top, but just at the old Arlington ballpark. Arlington Stadium, excuse me. And that's back when they would block off these sections. Nobody be sitting in them. They just sell the seats closest, around first base. And if it's past first, no one would be there. That is hit hard but foul. So you'd have these big blocks of sections with nobody there. So it's just a matter of outrunning your competition to get to the foul ball.
Remember who hit it?
No. I think it's too young to remember, to be honest. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Annie Martin. And we have finished 4 innings of ladies softball. Still Irving holding on to a 1-0 lead. So we finished 4 innings of softball with the Lady Tigers scoring 1 in the first, and that's it. You look at the line score, not a lot of hits. Just some good defense at the right time, some pretty stellar pitching. And to take us to the distance, Mr. Nelson.
All right, Robbie, the bottom of the order for the Lady Cards in search of runs. Cassidy Rourke will lead it off. It was McClure, the flex player, who recorded last out hitting for Holden. So Rourke, Peterson in the top of the order, and the first pitch is fouled off straight back. KYRA Sanchez, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. Has allowed 2 hits. Rourke, one of the 2 walks, came back in the third. Swing and a miss, and Sanchez ahead, 0-2. Trying to go to 4-7 this year and give her team a district mark of 2-2. Sanchez set, throws, takes a little bit off of it, misses high and away. Mandolin Peterson on deck, and then Annie Martin. No runs on a couple of hits, and a comebacker fielded cleanly by Sanchez, and there was the first out as the play goes 1-3. That's how the 4th inning started off for the Lady Cards. And here is Peterson, the shortstop, lined into a double play after Rourke had walked back in the third.
A hard-hitting double play.
And that one bounces, hits hard in front of Cifuentes. District 7 6A game of the week. As Sanchez peers in, taking her time, and now is ready. And the 1-0 pitch. And Peterson will take first the hard way.
Boy, thank goodness for the helmets, right?
Man, that sounded off pretty loud.
Coming high and tight, hit her right in the back of the head, right where the helmet's located. She may be like us old guys and have ringing ears for a few innings.
Bees in the headgear. No, they hit batter tonight.
Looked like Coach McTee was holding up 2 fingers and asked her, "How many fingers do I have up?"
2 for now.
Yeah. She said 2, and then she laughed about it. I'm like, shoot, I couldn't see that on a good day that far away.
Top of the order, and here's Annie Martin, who was grounded out twice. And Henderson kind of tiptoeing down the line at third. The first pitch is outside. Martin, in addition to the no-hitter against DeSoto last week, had 3 hits and drove in 4. Productive at the plate last week. 1 on, 1 out. That one on the inside black.
Well, both times Martin has hit to the opposite side. Almost as good as a bunt if she's trying to get Peterson over.
Yeah, it was grounded out to second twice. The 1-1 offering. That one is peeled off well out of play, first base side.
Yep, but to the right side. She's either trying to hit to the right or just late swings.
Kind of a wide stance. There's a look in from center field. As Sanchez throws. Speared by Sanchez. She'll get 1 as Peterson was off with a pitch. She takes second as Martin grounds out. And now there are 2 gone.
I'm okay with this. A lot of people would
Sure.
say, hey, get the lead runner. Nice little scoop. And really, in reality, she probably had time to go to second. But she went with what she was comfortable with. And so they now have 2 out.
Fielded cleanly, and here is Bethany Garnica, the center fielder, who is 0 for 2. At second base, Peterson. Sanchez throws and delivers a first pitch strike. They left them loaded in the 4th inning. Trailing 1-0. Garcia has struck out and grounded out. That one a little outside, and the count even at 1.
Probably one of the harder pitches she's thrown. Unless you're Peterson and you said, nope, the hardest one is the one you hit me with.
Right on the noggin. Bethany set. Here's the pitch. That one over the head. And the count at 2-1. Lizette Sosa would be next.
Yeah, this is a big out right here.
Runner at
Sosa's a
second.
good hitter.
Peterson with pretty good speed. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Swung through and missed. And the count even at 2.
I don't know if she took a little off of that, but Garnica was way out in front.
Crossed her up. Here it comes. Another comebacker. Sanchez with an easy pickup on the short toss of Rodriguez in time for out number 3. No runs on no hits, no errors, and they strand a runner at second. Lady Cards have now left 5 on base. It's the middle of the 5th. It is still a 1-0 Irving lead.
All 3 of the outs, 1-3. Sanchez to first in that 5th inning. And you look at the standings, and you pretty much can say that I don't think the Lady Gophers or the Lady Eagles of DeSoto will be any threat to postseason play. It's pretty much up to one of the 3 Irving schools to get that last playoff spot for postseason play.
Lady Cards made the postseason tournament last year. Finished tied for 4th, I believe. 9-5, was it? Yeah, 9-5, tied for 3rd. For the Lady Tigers, it'll be the middle of the order. Rodriguez, Cifuentes, and Lopez. A 1-0 lead. Both teams trying to go to 2-2 in district play. And Hannah Rodriguez, the first baseman, steps in to face ANNALIN Martin, who has struck out 6, walked 4, and allowed just the 1 hit so far to the batter that will hit second this inning, Cifuentes. Rodriguez has popped out and struck out. Came in batting .444. Through the mitt of Allen and off of the backstop. No glove could hold it.
Let's see, this year in Major League Baseball, they've extended the net down the first base line, haven't they?
They have, but to my mind, it's not far enough or high enough. It's still a danger zone. That one fouled straight back.
What if you're the season ticket holder that relishes the fact you don't have a screen in front of you to get a clear view of the action? Now all of a sudden,
but if you've
you
ever
got the net.
Yeah, but if you've ever been down there for a lot of games, it's a
Dangerous.
battle. I mean, you got to stay focused. It's not worth the risk.
You can't be talking about The Bachelor during the game with your best friend.
He may be a bachelor after contact. This one over but high as the throw goes away from Martin. And the count at 2-1 on Hannah Rodriguez, who has 7 RBIs. And he's ready. Here's the pitch. Over but high. And the count at 3-1 on the leadoff batter.
Now I would say Hannah's the type of hitter that if it's a good pitch at 3-1, she's going to swing at it. She's not going to be looking for a walk.
Well, Martin has to come in. You don't want to lose her. In essence, a hitter's count. Here it is. Lost her. Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 5th. Walk number 5. And here's Stephanie Fuentes, the catcher, who has the game's only hit. Also reached on an error. It's been on base twice.
But more importantly, not only the game's only hit, but the game's only RBI.
Drove in MINA SCHWARTZ back in the 1st.
Irving's only hit.
So Rodriguez anchored at first. Here's the pitch. Outside. Stephanie with a couple of doubles this year. Coming off a win last week to Nimitz, 11-10. Lady Tigers 11 runs on 9 hits last week. Their last game was a loss to South Grand Prairie. That one bounces off of the mask, moving up to second and arriving safely is Rodriguez, as Allen had to battle that one.
Allen behind the plate. Got peppered right in the mask. Well, she kept it in front of her, John.
And the reaction to throw to second to try to get Rodriguez. Here's the next pitch. Boy, she keeps it in front of her again. Doesn't want to do that too many more times. It's a 3-0 count.
It's just incredible watching all these softball games how the pitchers, they just go up and down in consistency. Martin strikes out a couple in the 4th, and now she's rolling them to the batter here in the 5th.
Taking the pitch and a called strike. There's not much room at all, maybe 12 feet from home plate to the backstop. Nadia Lopez to follow. 1-0, Irving on top. Martin ready, the 3-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. Stephanie came in batting .286. That has gone up a couple of points, maybe 3 tonight with that single back in the 1st. There's direct look from our home plate camera. This one lined into left field, a one hopper in front of Colquitt. Nobody's covering. Well, the throw got away from Sosa at 3rd, and runners at the corners, and Stephanie is 2 for 3 tonight.
Nicely done on a 3-2 count. Got that over the plate and stroked it to left. Rodriguez had to be careful that wasn't going to be caught, and the ball got past the 3rd baseman. Boy, got around it very nicely into left field, and Colquitt throws it in back in a hurry and missed the mark. Sosa couldn't handle it. Now Irving has something going here in the bottom of the 5th, no outs.
Nadia Lopez, the second baseman up, was hit by the pitch her last trip, and that one low. Rodriguez at 3rd. Cifuentes, a runner at 1st, nobody out here in the home half of the 5th.
She was daring MacArthur to throw her way. Cifuentes was. She was halfway down between 1st and 2nd, trying to get the Lady Cards to bite.
Officially, Lopez 0 for 1 tonight. This one squibbed off the end of the bat. KYRA Sanchez will follow. In the batting order, runners at first and third. Martin tonight with 6 strikeouts. Well behind that pitch. That one in the mid as soon as Lopez swung. Good pitch by Martin. Count now at 1-2. There's a runner at second now, Cifuentes. Tight bases. Here's the next pitch. In the air. Left side and in the seats. That hit hard. Nobody wanted that one. So the count hold to the ball and 2 strikes.
If you're Lopez, you are down on the count, but if you're Lopez, you just want to make contact with the runner in scoring position. It opens up a bunch of different avenues for plays to be made to score some runs here.
Outfield straightaway and shallow. Got her as Martin gets the first out, and that is the 7th strikeout. So the streak continues, at least 1 K in every inning, but more importantly, the first out with 2 girls on base. And here's Sanchez, the opposing pitcher.
You know, Martin could be overshadowed in this ball game, could come up as a losing pitcher and pitch a pretty good ball game.
And again, coming off a no-hitter last week against DeSoto.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it hasn't been perfect. I mean, she's had to have some help, but
you're still in it. I mean, it's 1-0, and
yeah, Tigers haven't scored that second run yet.
Sanchez reached on a fielder's choice her last time up, struck out back in the first. It's pitcher against pitcher here. And a swing and a miss. KYRA batting .304. Has 5 RBIs and a couple of 2-baggers this year. Again, Irving's overall record at 3-10-1. That one off the bottom of the bat, trying to bunt her way aboard, and it hit the bottom and was redirected into foul territory.
She wasn't faking, was she?
Not
she
at
swung
all.
around, was in the bunt position from the get-go. Now she's in a hole. Tries that again and fouls it off. She'll be out.
About 3/4 off the backstop. Count holds at 0-2. Lady Tigers opened up district play this year by losing to the Lady Panthers of Duncanville. 4th district game. That one short hops and a nice stop by Allen. And again, not that much room behind home. Sometimes that ball can hit off one of those backstop posts and go all the way out to first base. Just depends on how hard it hits and if it's near a post. In the air to deep right field. Over the head of Roark. 1 run in. 2 runs home. It is 3-0 on a double by Sanchez.
Went opposite field. Behind the count in the process, and a great job of taking it all the way to the fence and clearing the bases. Went down and away on the pitch, and the right fielder Rourke had to give chase all the way to the base. As Rodriguez and Cifuentes there, number 6, come across the platter. We've got our pinch runner back in. And now a little cushion for the Lady Tigers here in the bottom of the 5th.
RBIs 6 and 7 for Sanchez, who helps out her own cause. Now has a 3-0 lead, and here's Joseline Garcia, the designated player. Runs up, and that one zings right across home plate. First pitch strike. Pinch runner at second for KYRA Sanchez. Joseline has walked and struck out tonight. Slaps and misses at the next pitch way outside. And Martin ahead 0-2 to the number 8 place hitter. Haley Bates on deck. And that one just misses, not by much, on the outside corner. We've had 3 doubles tonight. Of the 5 hits, 3 of them have been 2 baggers. That's combined, time called. And he ready, here's the pitch, and Garcia is down on strikes. Out number 2, runners still at second base. And here's the right fielder, Haley Bates. A 3-0 lead for the Lady Tigers. It all started with a leadoff walk to Hannah Rodriguez. And Bates runs up, chops and misses on a ball way down low. Bates has walked and struck out. Well, Annie had 8 strikeouts last week. She has 8 now so far, and has given up a couple of runs this inning. Good pitch. Strike 2 on Bates, the right fielder. Irving collectively came in batting .305. Two runs and 2 hits this inning. And the 0-2 pitch, and there is a ball outside as you had the shortstop Peterson running over to cover the bag at third, with Sosa coming in. And we believe that is Suji Mar running at second.
If not, we're going to call it Mar.
With a black warm-up and not seeing a number, it's kind of hard to see. A swing and a miss by Bates. She's down on strikes, but the damage done here by the Lady Tigers in the bottom of the 5th. They plate a couple of runs on a couple of hits. No miscues, and they strand a runner at second. We're through 5. It is now a 3-0 Lady Tiger lead. 8 strikeouts for Martin. But Rob, the talk of the college softball world as far as pitchers is this gal from Alabama, this Alexis Osorio. For University of Alabama, she no-hit Boston College on Friday night, then tied the NCAA record of 21 strikeouts against Fordham on Saturday night. She has close to 100 strikeouts in just over 50 innings this year for Alabama. Keep that name in mind, Alexis Osorio.
And how did she not end up going to UCLA or Arizona schools?
Don't know where she's from. She may be from that area, but yeah, it's a good point. They may meet each other in the tournament this year. Probably will. top of the 6th for the Lady Cards. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the batting order to face Sanchez, who now has a 3-run lead. Trying to go to 4 and 7. She'll face Lizette Sosa, the third baseman. Deep in the game, and
yeah,
not a lot of outs left.
That win by Osorio also gave her head coach his 1,000th win at Alabama.
Who is the head coach?
Patrick Murphy.
Okay, 1,000?
1,000 wins. He must have started when he was like in his 20s, huh?
Yeah. Must like it, or they like him. Lizette Sosa leads it off and takes one up high from KYRA.
Don't you know the old joke, we play softball?
Sosa, Allen, and Colquitt.
Well, Osorio is from California.
Is that right?
Yeah, so she left.
What enticed her to Tuscaloosa?
I don't know. We need to do some investigative reporting.
Sosa has doubled and popped out. 1 for 2. That one rides in a little bit too far as Sosa takes it, and the count at 2-1 on the leadoff batter. Leadoff batter has been retired the last 2 innings. That one close, didn't bite, and the count 3-1. Does it say if she is a sophomore, junior, or senior at Alabama?
I'm sure we can find out.
Sorry to make you go back to the.
Oh no, it's off the top
phone.
of my head. Just let me think about it.
That pitch behind her and a leadoff walk for the Lady Cards.
She's a senior.
Okay.
All of 5'8".
Kayla Allen, the catcher, due up. And a leadoff walk for Mack. It was Allen who doubled back in the 4th. Mack left the bases loaded that inning. Pitch above the hands, ball 1. Sierra Colquitt on deck. Cut on and missed, and the runner will move into second as Sosa able to get into scoring position as Cifuentes had to move to her left and not make a play. Count even at 1. 3-0 in favor of Irving. Lady Cards winning quite decisively in both games last year. A far cry this season. There's a strike as Allen takes it, and the count at 1-2. Trying to get this first out here in the top of the 6th. Inside and high, ball 2.
Sanchez, after the pitch, John, I don't know if she was asking the umpire where the ball was at, or she kind of had her hands in the air like it's either the catcher or the umpire.
That one close and just misses high and outside, ball 3. There's the runner in the background at second. That's Sosa. Here's the next pitch, up high, ball 4 and a couple of walks. Here for Mac. 5th walk given up by Sanchez, and time called as the entire infield, with the exception of Schwartz at shortstop, will come to the circle. Try to settle down the sophomore pitcher. She's walked the first 2 batters and will face the left fielder, Sierra Colquitt, who walked her last time up.
You wonder, John, when you go out as a pitcher like this, that you're having a 3-0 lead, do you relax a little bit, or you're not as intense? You know that maybe one pitch won't hurt you, or do you get out of your groove?
And sometimes all it takes is that first out.
Yeah, then you relax and things turn around.
But here is the tying run at the plate, Sierra Colquitt. 0 for 1 is walked and grounded out. Third baseman in, that's Henderson. Here's a pitch. And that one over but high. She's not missing by much here.
No.
Home plate umpire didn't give her that one. Got her. Man, it's a struggle here as Colquitt has been hit by the pitch and will limp to first. Another look at it.
Second hit batter. That one just hit the ankle. The left leg that was protruding out hit the ankle. Second batter hit by Sanchez. Martin, she's hit a couple tonight.
Got her on the left heel.
She's really in a mess. Sanchez is, with the bases loaded and nobody out.
You may want to. Coach McTee has come out.
I think the courtesy runner.
Does he or does he? Well, Sierra says she's okay.
Yeah. Was going to bring Summer out, Aileen Summer, to pinch run, and he kept asking Colquitt, you okay, you okay? And she finally said, hey, I'm all right.
Bases loaded for Desiree Desarmazanga, the first baseman. Desiree is grounded out and walked. Sanchez ready. Here's a pitch fouled straight back as Desiree swinging away on the first pitch offered.
Sanchez had the bases loaded back in the 4th, but a big difference. She had 2 outs at that time.
5 walks and a couple of hit batters. And no place to put Desiree, the first baseman. Another foul tip straight back, in the count 0-2.
And this is where it seems that on the high school level, a lot of pitchers lose their concentration when they're up on a count 0-2. They seem to have to throw a couple of pitches outside and away to try to get the batter to go after a bad pitch, and then next thing you know, they walk them.
Digs in, here's the pitch, just swing and a miss, and she got her.
See, that time she just challenged her. She didn't try to throw high and away or get her to go after a bad pitch. She just said, here, hit it.
Bases loaded, strikes her out, her second strikeout, third strikeout. Bases still loaded. Swinging away and fouling one off the right side is Kaylee McClure. Now, she was the flex player who hit for Holden in the 4th inning. She's up there again.
And she had a good swing. Hit it to left field to end the inning.
Kaylee McClure plays second base. Hits one to the first baseman. She'll come home. There is, well, she never stepped on the home plate. Cifuentes couldn't find the plate. Stepped across it, but never on it. And all hands safe, it is 3-1.
Sanchez in disbelief in the circle, the pitcher.
And what should be out number 2, the bases stay loaded. It is 3-1.
Shaking her head at Cifuentes. She thought made the play.
So here's Cassidy Rourke, the right fielder. And now, in essence, Irving has to get 4 outs this inning.
And if you're Irving, you got to shake that off. You got to forget everything that just happened and concentrate.
Got to get an extra out. A swing and a miss on the first pitch. So Mac is on the board. It's 3-1. Fielder's choice and an RBI for McClure.
You don't get the phantom play at second like they do in the majors, huh?
Never assume that. Throws hard and another swing and a miss. So Allen now becomes the leader runner at third, Kayla Allen. Rourke has grounded out and walked. That one way up high. Pacing at third is the head coach, Scott McTee. His team on the board. It's 3-1, hoping to get some more here with the bases loaded. Sanchez throws, taking inside, ball 2.
Pretty good gap in right center. You see how it's lined up defensively. Right fielder Bates a little bit to her left.
Strike 3 as Rourke comes up empty. Strikeout number 4 and what should have been the third out for Irving, but as it is, out number 2, the bases remain loaded for Amanda Peterson.
Hey, maybe that will fire Sanchez up. Make her more determined to get the out herself.
Well, Matt was hit by the pitcher last time up, takes strike 1. Amandalyn Peterson, the shortstop. Lined out to first. Back in the third. Fouls one in and out of the Lady Tiger dugout, first base side. And the count at 0-2. 2 walks and a hit batter this inning. Strikeout 2. And hoping to get number 3 is Sanchez. Wants a different softball.
How many times do you see that in softball,
Yeah, I didn't
John?
like the feel of that last one. And
maybe it's too new. Didn't have a good enough grip on it. Didn't have all the mud on it.
river bottom mud here. Well, that one skips in front of home plate. Here's a runner down the line from third. She scores. Ball gets away. The throw to the plate, and both runners score. A wild pitch scores Allen. Colquitt scoring all the way from second on the short toss by Rodriguez. It got away from Cifuentes.
And just like that, a 3-0 lead vanishes.
2 runs come in on this pitch.
Should have kept the other softball.
Yeah. There's the first one. Here's the play at the plate that's a little late, and there's the second one. And Peterson lines one hard down in the right field corner. So all the way over to third now is McClure, the flex player.
And just think, John, all of that happened on an 0-2 count with 2 outs.
We start over at 3. Runner at third. Peterson's pitch bounces in front of home and blocked by Cifuentes. So the count even at 2. Peterson at the plate. And Sanchez is ready. To the right side. Lopez has it, and the throw to first in time for out number 3. But the damage done here in the 6th inning as the Lady Cards score 3 runs on no hits. They leave a runner at third. And we're tied at 3 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 6. So a little life and a shot in the arm for the Lady Cards. Miscues in the field by Irving cost them this past half inning.
Well, they made the most of it. You know, they were up on Cedar Hill 5-4 after 3 innings last Friday before Cedar Hill came back with 7 runs in the 4th and cruised to a 17-6 win. And you hear the terminology, manufactured runs. Well, the Cardinals did just that.
All you had to do, though, was step on home for out number 2, and you're out of the inning.
Probably one of those instances that perhaps she thought she was on the plate. Don't know. All I know now is that we are tied as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Irving could have 2 more innings to try to win it, or might go ahead here and have to hold on to the 7th.
Let's see, we might have some changes. Coach McTee out to the home plate umpire and has brought his lineup card out with him, and not sure if we have a new first baseman or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. New first baseman for the Lady Cards. Pitcher remains Martin. So Nazara Mazanga not at first base. Let's see, Taylor Lee is an infielder. Not sure if it's her, but MINA Schwartz will lead it off. Here in the bottom half of inning number 6. And the first pitch is inside, hits the dirt. Schwartz, Gomez, and Henderson. That is Taylor Lee, number 18.
Thank you, guys, in the truck. Wonder if she will bat in Zara Masinga's spot.
Martin throws, and the next pitch is taken for a strike. MINA has walked, scored a run, popped out, and grounded out. Daisy Gomez on deck. Strike 2. Martin finds the mitt. Kayla didn't have to move it at all. And the count at 1-2. Hits 3 feet in front of home. Gets away, chased down, and the count leveled at 2. Runner in the first, 2 more in the 5th for the Lady Tigers. Had 9 hits last week. To the right side. Fielded by the second baseman over to first to Taylor Lee in time for out number 2. And we may have a new second baseman as well.
Yeah, Martin. Yeah, I looked over and is a lefty.
Yeah.
Lefty at second base. So, ANNALIN Martin.
On the putout. Oh, that's McClure. No, she's been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it number 2, not number 4?
It is 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here's Gomez, the center fielder. She had to turn counterclockwise on the throw. It kind of threw me off. So here's Gomez. Hit by a pitch. Has walked and struck out and fouls off the first pitch. Melanie Henderson on deck. 3 runs apiece in this district contest. Gomez entered tonight batting .240. behind the head of Daisy. Well, she'll take first.
Well, that's Schwartz.
Schwartz, I'm sorry, Schwartz.
So apparently that ground out didn't count, as best I can tell.
And I'm way off. What?
Yeah, I am too.
Kind of in a zone there, but I don't see that at all. There's a leadoff walk. And here's Gomez, who bunts one straight back. Unless that hit home plate on the ground out.
Might have. Let's see.
I think it hit home.
No?
Unless time was called at the last minute. She thinks she's out. Everybody else does too.
Wait, then she turns back, and the coach is saying, go back.
But she lives for another at-bat and draws a walk. That next pitch to Gomez was a bunt attempt and missed, and the count 0-2. That's the only thing I can think of that time was called.
Had to be.
But nobody heard it.
Neither did the batter, see?
So Gomez, who struck out her last time. It's one to the left side. Fielded by Sosa. The throw to first to Lee in time. And moving up to second is Schwartz. Infield ground out for Gomez, but forces Mac to make a play. And here's Melanie Henderson.
Well, if you're Tiger fans, you've got a runner in scoring position, and you got your best two hitters coming up, Hernandez, then Rodriguez. If one of those gets on, then you got Cifuentes, who got a hit, who's gotten 2 hits tonight. So you got to feel pretty good right now.
Melanie struck out her last time up. Runner at second, 1 out, game tied at 3. It was Henderson that unloaded with 2 outs to clear the bases last week against Nimitz. And the first pitch is a little low. Hannah Rodriguez on deck. Mina Schwartz with good speed at second. They're going to walk Henderson on purpose.
It's happened quite often this year.
Intentional walk. And it brings up Hannah Rodriguez, the first baseman.
Well, based on tonight, she hasn't had a typical night with a strikeout and a fly out to second and a walk back in the 5th, but she has the talent, she has a really good swing, and has the potential to give her team the lead.
A force at every base except home. A ground ball hit to the right side. And McClure will throw to first, get the sure out. It moves up both runners as Rodriguez grounds out. Runners now at second and third for Stephanie Cifuentes, the catcher,
who again has 2 of the hits tonight.
Schwartz at third. Henderson up to second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Stephanie Cifuentes. 2 hits, a run scored, and has also reached on an error.
If I'm Coach McTee, I'll walk her intentionally and face the next batter.
That would be Lopez, the second baseman. Here we go. First pitch bounces in front of home. Down the line at third is Schwartz. She'll score standing. A wild pitch plates the 4th run for the Lady Tigers.
Don't you think that's fitting in a game like tonight? Like what we saw back in the top of the 6th?
I do.
Martin's pitch bounces right up in the face mask of Allen, who's going to wake up tomorrow probably with bruises everywhere. The ball's been bouncing all around her. And Schwartz comes in to score.
It is now 4-3. Cifuentes hit and will take first. And
third hit batter.
batter.
Yeah, 3rd one of the night for Martin. Not just, oh, it's hard to get out of the way. Hits her in the leg, and she flinches a little bit and goes on to first base.
Well, that puts Melanie Henderson at third, a pinch runner at first for Cifuentes and the batter Nadia Lopez. 4-3, the Lady Tigers have regained the lead here on a wild pitch that scored MINA SCHWARTZ from third.
When they wear those cover-ups, it's tough for us to figure out who the runner is. They should put numbers on the cover-ups. Maybe that's why it's called a cover-up. See, it covers up the number.
Or maybe on the arm sleeve. Nadia Lopez, the second baseman up, with the runners at the corners. Takes ball one.
Stayed 1-0. It seemed like forever until the fifth, when Irving opened it up to 3-0, and then in the sixth, both teams scoring.
Stopped on one hop by Kayla Allen. For the Lady Cards in the top of the seventh, it'll be the top of the order. He's hoping to keep it a one-run game. Two nothing the count on Lopez with two runners on. Off the glove into center field. It is 5-3, a hot smash off of the glove of Martin as Henderson scores. Lopez with a base hit and an RBI.
Remember what I said earlier? They should have walked Cifuentes to bring up Lopez. Well, that would have backfired. A comeback or a hot shot right to Annie Martin. All she could do is flinch to protect herself, and coming in to score the fifth run is Hernandez.
And now a two-run lead for Henderson. And here's KYRA Sanchez. Or Sanchez, a two-run lead for her, and now batting with runners on first and second. Sanchez doubled to right center her last time up. Courtesy runner at second and Lopez aboard at first. And a swing and a miss on a nice pitch low and away from Martin. Count level at 1.
Well, she's aggressive. She remembers it was just an inning ago when she got that double.
Foul straight up off the overhang. Count now at 1-2. So Annie Martin, the senior pitcher, is set. And here's the next pitch. Turning away from it is KYRA Sanchez, and the count now even at 2. Outfield swung around a little bit to the right for Sanchez. And the next pitch in the air, foul territory. Third baseman wants it and stays with it. Sosa in foul ground makes the catch for out number 3, but the Lady Tigers score a couple of runs on a wild pitch and a base hit by Lopez. And we go to the top of the 7th. It is now 5-3 in favor of Irving High. We reached the top of the 7th here at Irving High. The Lady Tigers on top by a couple of runs. KYRA Sanchez 3 outs away from picking up her 4th win of the year, and will face the top of the order. Martin, Garnica, and Sosa.
Yeah, but you know softball, nothing's a given.
That is so true. Here's Annie Martin, 0 for 3 tonight. In fact, the top of the order, a combined 1 for 8. Swings and fouls the first pitch straight back. Sanchez now working her 54th inning of the year. Came in with her 10th start. Misses outside. Count level at 1. Pitch up high, and Martin couldn't hold up and is now down on the count. KYRA has recorded 4 strikeouts, allowed just 2 hits. Mac has stranded 6 tonight on the base paths. That's low ball 2.
Good start, important for Sanchez. The innings that she got the first 2, or at least 1 out of the first 2. She ends up keeping the team in check, but that 6th inning, 3 straight base runners.
Came over the top and fouls. That was straight back, got a little piece of it. And the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the sophomore ready. And the pitch as she floats one up high, and Martin takes it, ball 3.
Game started with the sun at about 60 degrees. It's dropped down to about 53. Sun's gone. Wind remains calm.
Here's a payoff pitch. Lined foul. First base side. So Annie stays alive, had 3 hits and 4 RBIs in the game against DeSoto last week. But has worn the collar tonight, 0 for 3. Again, lines one, first base side. Making contact, hanging tough, making Sanchez work here in the 7th.
Well, that's good for Martin to keep it alive and get some good swings. On the flip side, if you're the Irving team, you're like, good news for Sanchez. She's keeping it in the strike zone, trying to get the out, not give up the lead runner.
Annie Martin, one of 5 seniors for Coach McTee. And the next pitch, lost her. Leadoff walk. Able to work a walk is Annie Martin, and it brings Bethany Garnica up.
Good bat for Martin. Dug herself a hole, kept alive by fouling off a couple of pitches, and then working the walk to get on board.
Bethany has grounded out twice and struck out. Stands up close to the plate. Sanchez throws and misses up high. 5-3, Irving on top. Leadoff walk to Annie Martin here. Well, Garnica is hit on the top of the helmet. Our second batter tonight we have seen hit on top of the helmet. And now runners at first and second, and KYRA shook up in the circle. A little shaken up, having hit Bethany on the helmet.
Second batter tonight, John, that we've seen hit. And you can almost tell how an inning is going to go, at least for KYRA's sake. This is how she starts off, and this looks like the 6th inning. Gave up a couple of base runners right off the bat.
Not a good start here. Lizette Sosa, the third baseman, up. And a swing and miss. Lady Cars trying to make Sanchez work, get the good pitch. Down by a couple of runs. Infield in normal depth. Nobody out. And Sosa takes strike 2. Couldn't pull the trigger on that last pitch from Sanchez.
Here's the key, though, John, is can Sanchez finish off the hitter? Not fall behind and then have to work.
Kayla Allen on deck. Into right field. Annie Martin rounds third. She will hold, and the bases are loaded on a base hit by Lizette Sosa.
Well, credit Sosa, man. She stayed with it. Ball was low and away, and she poked it into right field
And
on an 0-2 pitch.
Third hit for Mac. So the bases are loaded for the catcher, Kayla Allen. 5-3, Lady Tigers on top. The infield is in. About as close as you can get. Foul off behind us on the first pitch, served by Sanchez.
I think that's something the Lady Tigers will look back upon if they end up losing this game, John, and only giving up 3 hits in the process and being in the short end of the stick. Those are the tough ones to take.
Kayla has doubled, walked, and grounded out. No place to put her. Stopped, it gets behind Cifuentes, but all runners hold. You don't want to be the first out with bases loaded. Martin at third, Garnick at second, and Sosa at first. And a 1-1 count at the plate. Now shifting over Cifuentes, now back towards the middle of the plate. And that one, another foul ball straight back behind us. At first, Cifuentes had shifted to the right to try to maybe get an outside pitch and then move back towards the middle. And that's where that last pitch was. That almost got Allen. Scoots away from it. And the count even at 2.
Hey, credit Allen for getting out of the way. She could have just stood there.
Sarah Colquitt on deck. Trying to hold on to a 2-run lead. Sophomore KYRA Sanchez. Here's the pitch. Over but high, ball 3. And the ultimate situation here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, and the bases loaded. They call it the action pitch.
The action pitch. Something's going to happen.
Here it is.
5-4. Martin scores from third. The bases remain loaded. It's a walk and an RBI for Kayla Allen. And time called. Sierra Colquitt is the next batter. 5-4, and now the base runners come towards the head coach. And Sierra, who was hit by a pitcher last time up. And a break for the Lady Cards here within a run.
Well, MINA SCHWARTZ, the shortstop, has pitched less than 2 innings the entire season. It's all been KYRA SANCHEZ. Doesn't look like Coach Luttrell has any intention of bringing her in, and man, it would be such a difficult task at that.
Yeah, at this point,
for someone who hasn't pitched hardly any innings at all to come in with the bases loaded and no outs and holding on to a 1-run lead. So this is, you know, you coming out now to try to A, calm your pitcher down, and B, get him to throw strikes. Might be easier to calm them down.
still looking for that first out, and the batter is the left fielder, Sierra Colquitt. 0 for 1 tonight. Bases loaded. Sanchez is ready, and the first pitch. Taken for a strike. Sierra, one of 3 juniors on the roster. Bethany Garnica, the lead runner at third. She's a tying run. Line foul just past Henderson at third.
That reminded me of that double. Was it Kayla Allen that hit one down the third base side, and at first it looked like it was going to go foul. The next thing you know, it went over the base and stayed just inside the field of play.
That was key.
And here's KYRA again, ahead in the count, 0-2, and has to find that last strike to get one out.
Bases loaded. Sanchez is ready. The 0-2 pitch popped up in the infield. Third baseman gets away from it as the shortstop SCHWARTZ puts the squeeze on it for out number 1.
Infield fly rule called immediately by the umpire on the bases. Big out for Sanchez and these Lady Tigers as we head close to the bottom of the order, and we've got the new player in that came in for the first baseman, and Taylor Lee's up.
Taylor Lee, number 18, batting with the bases loaded, 1 out. It is 5-4 Lady Tigers. Wild pitch off of the backstop and fielded nicely by Cifuentes, who turned around and located it quite easily. Taylor is a senior.
It's like you said earlier about the backstop. It's so close to home plate, and if it hits one of the crossbars, it can bounce back pretty good.
So Bethany Garnica, the lead runner at third. Here's the next pitch. A swing and a miss on the ball outside. And the count level at 1. To the right side. They're coming home. It's late. Run scores, and we're tied. Garnica crosses home. Sosa goes to third. As Lopez came home, and Garnica able to get there ahead of the throw.
Well, Taylor did just enough. Just get the bat on ball. And it was slow enough where the second baseman couldn't charge it and get it home in time. And we're back where we started from.
Eileen Summer, the pinch runner at first for Lee. We're tied at 5, 1 out. Bases remain loaded. Now, Kayla McClure was the flex player who hit the last 2 times, and McClure is on deck and will bat. Kayla McClure batting with the bases loaded. It's 5-5, 1 out.
Yep, Summer running down at first.
McClure has flied out to left and reached on a fielder's choice. That resulted in an RBI. Bases loaded. The pitch, a swing and a miss. 5-5, 1 out in the top half of the 7th.
McClure, one of those that bats from the right side but throws left-handed.
Sanchez ready. Here's the pitch. Popped up, and Sanchez makes the catch. Glove turned down to halfway to home. There's out number 2.
We've seen Sanchez have to field her position. Comes up big here.
And it'll be up to Cassidy Rourke, the right fielder. The 8th batter here in the 7th inning. First pitch up high from Sanchez.
If you're Scott McTee, are you a little more aggressive at third base now?
That's where Sosa is.
You got some speed at third. The ball kicks out. Take off running.
A swing and a miss. As Sanchez comes right back in the count, level at 1. 3 hits overall tonight for the Lady Cards. Strike 2. Rourke taking all the way. And Sanchez 1 strike away from getting out of this one. Popped up. It's playable, and the catcher makes the catch about a foot off the third base line. Cifuentes able to grab it for out number 3, but the Lady Cards come back to tie it up here in the top of the 7th. A couple of runs on 1 hit. And they strand a boatload of runners. They have left 8 on base tonight. And we'll go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. All tied at 5.
And in the bottom of the 7th, you've got the bottom 2 batters who both, ironically, have struck out twice and walked once each. Identical stats in that spot. Does Luttrell change the way he's coaching? Does he, he's got, 3 players to bring off the bench to try to pinch hit? Does he go with what he's got? And then they go to the top of the order. I mean, that's the difference maker. You have to have somebody that's in a position that usually doesn't produce that often to come up and make a big play.
Taylor Lee remains at first base as Martin waits for her catcher to get ready, and there is an indication of how chilly it is tonight with a muffler and the knit. No wind, though. That's the good part.
Oh, it would be brutal out there if the wind was blowing. Watching on the Irving side, the first baseline, the coaches talking to both Garcia and Bates about, and those are the 2 players that they like to slap at the ball. Garcia does. They were both coaching both of those players about swinging even Not like you're chopping wood, but swinging level. And they need some production out of number 8 and number 9 in the lineup to get base runners aboard. Finish it off.
Joseline Garcia, the designated player, will lead it off. Tonight has struck out twice and walked. And Annie Martin has some new life. A tie game at 5. Home plate umpire dusting off the dish. A little better for Martin to see. Batter's box has been erased on both sides. Not much area at all left to see in the batter's box.
Last time Martin had her team tie things up, she gave up 2 runs.
Yeah, that's right, she did.
That was in the bottom of the 6th.
6th inning. So here's the leadoff batter. Garcia with Haley Bates to follow. And senior ANNALIN Martin in the circle is ready to face Garcia. Runs up and the pitch high and inside. That entices Sosa down the line at 3rd. But that's been the MO every time that Garcia comes to bat. Strike on the inside corner. Can Garcia put the bat on the ball? Can Sosa make a play at 3rd, or does Martin just try to get her right over the plate? Because you know what Garcia's going to do every time. He's going to run and try to slap at it. Swung over the top of that one, and the count 1-2. Bates on deck, and then MINA SCHWARTZ, top of the order. And there's a call, 3rd strike as Garcia is dispatched.
That's the first called 3rd strike of the night. It gives Martin her 10th strikeout. She's walked 5, hit 3 batters.
Brings up the right fielder, Haley Bates. Tries to push one in play. Fouls it off the end of the bat.
You could hear on the microphone behind home plate, Allen saying, "Oh, that hurt."
Got a little bit too much.
Watch what happens again. The catcher got her right on the foot, right on top of the left foot.
Running up, and that pitch outside. Count even at 1. Bunted and fielded on top of the line.
Fair.
It's a fair ball, fielded right on top of the line by Sosa. Base hit for Bates.
That would have been foul, I think, John, if she'd have let it go, but she fielded it in fair territory. The momentum took her to foul, but that counts. Right, she fields it right and then goes into foul territory.
Is that the first successful fair bunt,
Yes.
I guess you could say?
Yes. If you want to say bunt, slap, whatever, yes. First one that worked.
Shortstop MINA SCHWARTZ up there with a runner at first. And takes a first pitch strike from Martin.
Looking at the plays on their arms. We need to go back to hand signals.
Daisy Gomez on deck. 1 on, 1 out. Tie game here in the 7th. Schwartz hits one in the air to center field. Garnica underneath it and makes the catch.
Big out. There's out number 2. And it's up to Daisy Gomez.
Can Daisy be the hero 2 weeks in a row on ICTN?
What a game she had last week against Nimitz defensively. A game-saving throw from center field and is now at bat with the game tied at 5. Grounded out her last time up. Bates the runner at first. Swing and foul off the top of the plate into foul territory. Gomez has also been hit by a pitch and struck out. As Coach Luttrell at third base. Going through some signs as Lee holds the runner on. That's Bates. Into foul territory and just out of the reach of Taylor Lee. That one in the on-deck circle. And the count at 0-2.
Bates with pretty good speed at first. Gomez could hit the gap. Bates may have enough in her to score.
2 outs. And Martin set. Outside, runner goes to second on a ball that is into center field, but not far enough for Bates to take another base. Garnica was playing shallow anyway in center.
Like the aggressiveness, though. I mean, with 2 outs and 2 strikes, send the runner. Try to get in scoring position. Thought about it. Garnica fumbled it a little bit, but not enough to send Bates.
So Gomez up there. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped to the right side. McClure, short toss to Lee in time for out number 3. And we go to extra innings in the bottom of the 7th. No runs on a hit, no miscues, and a runner stranded at second. 7 full and extra frames tonight. Lady Cardinals 5 and the Lady Tigers 5.
John, did you clear your schedule for extra innings?
I had no idea we'd be at this point after 7 frames tonight, and judging from what happened the last 2 times we had 20 runs or more. But both teams kind of struggling in district. This is a big game, and well, there have been some miscues, and some teams have had to give up 4 outs to get 3.
We'll have a little baseball next week. Vikings and Tigers.
Just across the way here at Irving High. Nimitz and Irving, the first of 2 times they will meet each other this year on the diamond. These 2 teams play again in April over at MAC to end the softball series. Amanda Peterson will lead it off for the Lady Cards here in the top of the 8th. KYRA Sanchez tonight has struck out 4, but she's hit 3 batters.
Hey, give the Lady Cards credit. I mean, they were shut out for most of the ball game. For the first 5 innings, they couldn't put anybody aboard, and now 5 runs over the last 2, manufactured to the nth degree.
And they've stranded 9 runners tonight. I mean, they could have some more.
Well, it's not like they had a lot of hits.
Amanda Peterson leads it off. 5 runs on 3 hits for the Lady Cards. Annie Martin to follow. And Sanchez's first pitch is caught on 1 hop. And 1 out quickly. First batter retired, and here's the opposing pitcher, Annie Martin. How many assists? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 balls hit back to Sanchez tonight.
I got 5.
5.
5, yeah.
Rorik also grounded out. And Martin takes the first pitch up high. Annie tonight has walked and grounded out 3 times. Bethany Garnica on deck. That one slipped out of the hands of Sanchez, missed way up high, ball 2. Almost making contact.
Is it just me, or it seems like a lot of time between pitches tonight?
More so than we saw in the first 3 innings. That one skips across home. Yeah, I agree. A 3-1 count at the plate. 1 out. We play in the top half of the 8th inning. Fouled halfway up the backstop, and that brings the count to full.
Might have swung at a ball 4.
Pitch is up high. Any base runner will do for the Lady Cards. 1 out. That one stays inside, ball 4, so Martin does walk. Her second walk, and it brings up Bethany Garnica, the center fielder. And is called back as Coach McTee has a word with her center fielder tonight, who was 0 for 3 and a run scored. 3 runs in the 6th and 2 more in the 7th to tie it up for Mac.
I think he's used practically everyone but maybe Martin. More of a strategy talk than anything to a sophomore.
Runner will try to take second. She slides, and Martin is safe on a pitch that went up high to Garnica.
Good throw by Cifuentes. Pretty much right on the money, just didn't get out of the box fast enough.
Trying to force a defensive miscue and is able to take second base. 1-0 the count at the plate. Up high, ball 2. Lizette Sosa would be next. Outfield straight up and about halfway. And the 2-0 pitch is bunted foul behind home.
Well, they're mixing it up, John.
Yeah, they are.
They're stealing bases with 1 out, trying to bunt their way on with a 2-0 pitch. Definitely not playing conservative.
Annie Martin in scoring position at second. Up high, ball 3. So the count at 3-1 on Bethany Garnica, with Lizette Sosa up next. Inning started with an Amanda Peterson ground out to the mound. The 3-1 pitch. On the inside corner, strike 2 as Bethany taking that pitch. KYRA gets the strike call.
Closing in on a 3-hour game.
Swung on and in the air, but in the seats. Count stays at 3-2. So what does that mean, closing in on 3?
Well, we're about 10 minutes shy of 3 hours.
It's low, and the runner will take third as Martin goes to third, a walk to Garnica. And runners at the corners for Lizette Sosa, the third baseman. So some nice running at second by Annie Martin. In a 5-5 game, Lizette has doubled and singled tonight. Overall, 2 out of 3 with a walk. We'll see how aggressive Bethany is at first, but Lizette would like to get a chance here at the plate. Bounces one hop and caught by Cifuentes. A 5-5 tie here in the top of the 8th. KYRA Sanchez throws. Inside, the pump fake to second, and Garnica does take second base. Does not draw the throw.
Starting to shape up a lot like that 6th inning.
6th inning, yep.
And 7th, actually. Getting a lot of base runners on.
1 out. And the pitch on the way over the head of Lizette. Ball 3. Kayla Allen on deck. See what KYRA can do here with a 3-0 count at the plate. Walked her. Bases loaded. 3 walks in the inning. And it brings up the catcher, Kayla Allen. So the Lady Cards trying to make things happen here and untie this game. Allen with a double back in the 4th, but that came after 2 were out. Did not score their first run until the 6th inning. And KYRA misses outside.
Got your cleanup hitter in the position that cleanup hitters just live for, and that's the bases loaded. Third baseman Henderson edging a little closer to home.
1 out. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That one taken for a strike at the letters. Sarah Colquitt on deck. But the matter at hand is that lead runner at third, Annie Martin, with 1 out. Infield is in. That one on the outside corner for a strike, and the count at 1-2. Got to be aggressive here at the plate with 1 out. If it's close, swing away.
Well,
May
if
not
Allen
get
is
another chance.
Allen waiting for to throw strikes, mission accomplished.
Well, yeah. On the ground to first as a run scores from third, Annie Martin, but Kayla Allen with a good piece of hitting to the right side. It is 6-5 Mac. Ground out on an RBI for Kayla Allen. Has 2 ribbies tonight. And it is 6-5. Lady Cards with runners at second and third.
Lopez goes down to one knee and immediately went to first base. Didn't even try to challenge at home.
Here's Sierra Colquitt. Swings on the first pitch in the air to foul ground. Rodriguez off the line at first and has it for out number 3. But the Lady Cards take the lead as Annie Martin scores on an infield ground out. A run on no hits, no errors, and 2 left. Bottom of the 8th. It is now 6-5 in favor of MacArthur.
This is one of those games you ask yourself, all right, who really wants to win this one? Someone's got to make a big play. Someone's got to make a defensive gem, or offensively they got to get a clutch hit. We've seen a lot of manufactured runs tonight. We haven't seen one of those bases full and the guy gets a double and knocks in 3 or anything of that nature.
Well, it's Henderson that will lead it off. A tough 2 outs with Henderson and Rodriguez in the batting order. And it's up to Annie Martin.
Yeah, and you don't know exactly, what kind of inning is she going to have. I mean, she had a 1-2-3 in the 4th, but the 5th and the 6th were, long innings, 6 batter minimums. The 7th, not a bad one. She had 1 single she gave up, so she only faced 4 batters in the 7th. And if you're a MacArthur fan, that's kind of what you're hoping for now. Now, on the Irving side of the coin, you've got your 3 better hitters up there, Hernandez, Rodriguez, and Cifuentes. So Martin has her work cut out for her. And let's say if she gets out of this inning, she deserves a win.
Lady Tigers had a 3-0 lead after 4 innings. And now the matter at hand, 3 outs. And Melanie Henderson will lead it off. Walked her last time up and scored a run. So Annie Martin in position to win this game for the Lady Cards. Henderson came in hitting .321. Oh for 3 tonight with a walk. Senior Annie Martin is ready. Here's the first pitch, and it is a strike at the letters.
Right on the inside corner of the plate. Nice placement by Annie.
5 runs on 5 hits tonight for the Lady Tigers. That one just outside. They have left 11 on base tonight. I think that is right. They're stranded 11. 1-1 pitch to the shortstop. Over to Lee in time for out number 1. It was a high hop as Amanda Peterson stayed with it and throws out the leadoff batter.
Yeah, Taylor Lee did a good job at first. Good target to throw to. Big out right there.
1 out, and here's Hannah Rodriguez, the first baseman. Hannah grounded out her last time up. Stephanie Cifuentes on deck. Swings and bloops one off the screen out of play, first base side. Need another.
Running out of game balls tonight.
Need another one here.
A lot of fouls, a lot out of play.
Again, baseball next week on ICTN. The Irving Tigers. And is it Mac?
Nimitz.
Nimitz. Vikings and the Tigers next week. A swing and a miss on a nice pitch by Martin. Held nothing back. Strike 2 on Rodriguez with Stephanie Cifuentes on deck. On the ground, Peterson bobbles it, can't make a throw, and Rodriguez is safe at first. So a base runner for the Lady Tigers, and here's Stephanie Cifuentes.
Slow roller, hit just off the top of the ball. Got to field it cleanly. Couldn't do it. Irving stays alive.
Stephanie Cifuentes hit by a pitcher last time up. 1 on, 1 out. 6-5, Mac on top. And that is a strike just beneath the shoulders on the outside corner. Stephanie has collected a couple of hits, has 2 of the 5 tonight.
Been on base all 4 times.
Hannah Rodriguez, the runner at first. Martin deals, pops straight back and straight down.
Well, they're not holding back as Hannah was taking off on the pitch. Can't be too conservative down by a run.
Counted 0-2. Outside, a runner off the throw. Cut off by the shortstop Peterson, and Hannah Rodriguez able to take second. That ball kind of drifted away from Allen. Yeah,
Allen had to dig it out low. Shortstop had to go to the second base side to grab it.
Still the count at 1-2. In the air, center field. Bethany Garnica is there and 2 hands it for out number 2. Fuentes put it in play, but the ballpark held it. 2 outs. And it's up to Nadia Lopez.
Well, you hear this all the time. Forget the base runner and concentrate on the batter. Well, it's never so true now for Annie Martin, as she finds herself 1 out away of winning this one.
Lopez singled her last time up. 2 outs, runner at second. First pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. And again, after every pitch, you'll see McClure cover second. Peterson will cover third when Sosa comes in. Annie Peterson, the senior, Annie Martin, the senior, ready. Here's the pitch, swung on, is chopped back to the pitcher. She recovers in time and throws over to Lee for out number 3. It almost got away from Martin, but able to stay with it as the Lady Cards come back and win this one. In the bottom of the 8th, no runs on no hits, 1 error and 1 left for the Irving Tigers. And another look at it, Rod.
Well, why not? Why not have that last out on the edge of your seat if you're a MacArthur fan, like where you're not going to be able to handle it? Well, she did. And MacArthur scores runs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th to win it in extra innings, and they now are 2-2 in district play.
All right, Annie Martin gets the win tonight. KYRA Sanchez, a losing pitcher, her record at 3-8. The Lady Cards go to 2-2 in district play. The Lady Tigers fall to 1-3. Mac overall at 4-9. Lady Cards come back and win it tonight by the final score of 6-5. Our thanks to both head coaches, Scott McTee and Josh Luttrell, for our ICT and award-winning production crew, and for our broadcast partner. Once again, our final score, Mac 6, Irving 5. Until next time, this is John Nelson saying good night from Irving High.